do first responders actually get to meet the people whose lives they help save. So it's nice to see that.
All right. Let's take a look at the weather outside. Very smoky.
Yes.
Golly.
A lot more noticeable today, right, Laura?
Right.
Than what we've been seeing.
Hazy. I was driving in the Inner Bay area earlier today, and looking across that valley there, it looked like Los Angeles.
Oh,
just this hazy brown.
Now, there's a lot of benefits to living here, right, in Western Washington and the Sound.
Right.
One of them is that we've been dodging this for a while. So we've had it pretty good. We've been talking about Eastern Washington living with air alerts and bad air quality. And meanwhile, we've seen smoke in the distance, but we haven't had to deal with it to the point where air quality sensors were actually registering in the unhealthy for sensitive groups categories. Today is the day that happened. So you're not just seeing things. If it looks like the smoke looks worse to you, the sensors are actually reading that it is worse out there today. And when you take a look at the view from even wider and from higher up than our camera we were just looking at from Queen Anne, this is from the satellite view. You could have a hard time picking out where you are on here, but I can tell you that Seattle sits right here. There's the South Sound. Here's the Olympic Peninsula. That's Vancouver Island. All this milky stuff on here is smoke. And if you take a look over here, just to the east of Vancouver Island, that's the Strait of Georgia. That's that body of water, that narrow inlet right there. All the cruise ships go up it. Well, for today, that was pretty much a freeway for smoke. If you take a look at the gray and the brown color on there, all the smoke coming from the fires in Canada was able to flow right down the Strait of Georgia and get funneled down into the south and right into the Sound where we all live. There's a couple of other things to look at when you look at the high-resolution satellite on here. I want you to take a look right here. See that white plume of smoke? That's the one fire we have here locally. That's the maple fire. And the maple fire is putting smoke into the sky. But when you look at it this way, now you know the problem for us is not coming from that fire that we've been watching on the other side of the Sound for the last week. This is from the smoke coming largely from Canada. We're also pulling some of that smoke in from the east. You can see how it's now even filling in some of the deep river canyons when you look at it on a view like this. And then just to bring it into the live animation, this is what it looks like now as the sun's going down. That is not pretty. There are very few clouds over us today. So when you get down on the ground, where I want you to look is right in through the Sound, and where you see the orange dots on here. Those orange dots are telling you that the air quality is unhealthy for sensitive group. What is a sensitive group? That can be kind of confusing. Here are a couple of ways to think about this. Anybody you know and love who has asthma, they're a sensitive group. Anybody who's older, anybody who's really young and their lungs are developing. And when you see all of these orange dots, even if you're not in one of those groups, go easy on yourself outside. Why overdo it on a day like this? Don't train for the marathon as my example, because why make yourself breathe in any more deeply on this day? We've got to go about our lives. You've got to get outside. You have to be in this stuff. I know there's no way around it. But just be smart about it when you're outside, because it's not good to be breathing this stuff in. All right, let me get into the 7-day forecast, and I will show you a warm-up. So first of all, as far as the smoke goes, we've got 2 more days. Well, really 1 more day if we're lucky on this. It looks like Tuesday we're still going to have to deal with it. But by Wednesday, the flow in the atmosphere is going to change. We're going to start blowing the smoke the other way, and the air quality will get better. And look at the temperatures. The temperatures will also start to come down for us by the time we get into the middle of the week. All right, guys, I'll see you with more on this coming up a little bit later. For now, back over to you.
All right, Darren, thank you. Still ahead, a major change for the Seahawks game in London.